Hi. I just want to take a little time out to reflect on the work that you've been doing on the What is Education For assignment. Clearly, there's a lot of activity on the discussion board, and it's been good activity so far. You're taking the strike reading and not only laying it in the context of your own ideas about what an education is for, but also bringing your experience into the discussion, which I think is incredibly useful. You've already started to foray into responding to other people's posts, and I think that's been appropriate. I'm going to continue to ask you to push each other's ideas. There's come a point now in the discussion where you did a good job of thinking about the reading, laying out your own reaction to it. Where do you agree with strike? Where do you disagree? Bringing, in some cases, clearly old discussions that you've had either around the dinner table or around the break room, and putting it in the context of strike's philosophical argument. I think that's great. Now, as you read other people's, I see a little bit of, I agree with that, and I agree with this, and emphasizing those points. That's good. I see a few points where there might be some disagreement, and you're not quite ready to engage each other in those types of more heated discussions. That's okay. First weekend, we're just learning how to trust each other and how to have those kinds of discussions. I'm glad to see that you're picking up where other people have left off and continuing to move the discussion forward, rather than just waiting your turn and then putting in your own ideas next in line. I think that's a good start, and overall I've been pretty happy with it. What I did want to let you know is that the discussion doesn't end here. We're going to take this idea of talking about what an education is for, and not only pick up on it a little bit in person next week in class for the sake of providing closure to the argument, but also to have a discussion about why I would give you this assignment in the first place, and to what extent does knowing what an education is for help us as we think about dealing with moral dilemmas and ethical situations that come up in schools. It may not be self-evident, maybe it is, but we're going to flesh that out in more detail, and then turn our attention to the Darshan-Narvez piece, begin to talk about the Kohlbergian tradition and the Neo-Kohlbergian tradition, two concepts that you'll become more familiar with in your reading, and hopefully make strong connections between what you're doing this week and moving forward into that field of moral psychology. So keep up the good work. As you have questions, please remember to ask them either of me or post them on the discussion board, and I'm sure if I don't get to you, one of your classmates will help you just as quickly as they can. Thanks.